Many teachers dream of their classroom looking just like this, with students engaged, excited, and collaborating with those around them in regards to their writing. However, sadly, most classrooms look like this, with students silent, frustrated, and they don't even know where to start. That is where Storybird comes in. This is a website for teachers that has 600 plus lessons and 10,000 plus images to inspire students' writing. Storybird has been proven to help students in their literacy. As you can see here, in New Zealand, students were struggling with language arts. They were not motivated and they just weren't interested in writing. However, once implementing Storybird, students jumped from a level 1 to a level 3 literacy level in 1 year. In American standards, that would be jumping from a grade 2 reading level to grade 5. This is a great tool for teachers because it doesn't cost too much either. An individual monthly plan is $8.99 with no annual fee. So if a teacher were only going to use it 4 months out of the school year, they would only pay $8.99 a month. If someone really wanted to use it every single month of the school year, they have an individual yearly plan that costs $4.99 a month, but you do have a $59 annual fee. As I mentioned previously, there are more than 600 courses and challenges to engage students in their writing. All courses and challenges are aligned with common teaching standards, and there are worksheets and resources lists for the teacher. However, I would not use this website just for the courses. I see this as a website that provides wonderful illustrations to inspire students' writing. Their stories will have to coincide with the illustrations, and as you can see, there are many different illustrations for students to choose from. They can create picture books, comic books, poetry, and flash fiction. All of the images come from artists all over the world that make these images to inspire young writers. So anything on the website is aimed at young writers to inspire their creativity. This is a great website to get students creatively writing and to practice their writing skills for different genres. This would be a great warm-up activity for students. I would utilize this as like a bell ringer or a fun activity for students where they can create books and comics and short stories. As I mentioned, there's even poetry that sometimes students struggle with poetry, and the images on here are used to inspire their writing. Students can write their stories on the paper, so a teacher could go in and print off a bunch of images and have students choose from hard copies in the classroom, or they can write their stories on the website, which means that they can even use this at home. Students can compile their stories into a classroom book that parents can buy as well, which is another great feature of this website because everything that students write online will go into a classroom library that the teacher can approve to publish, where parents can then purchase these student books or the whole classroom books, and teachers can use this as a fundraising activity for their classroom. It is recommended for Storybird to work through all grades. However, I see this working best for 3rd grade and up. They do have a special section of the website for how you could use this to work for K through 2, but as I said, it would be easiest to use in a 3rd grade classroom. And this would fall under the Texas TEKS under composition, where students develop a structured draft and a coherent piece of writing by organizing with a purposeful structure and developing an engaging idea with relevant details. As you can see, the books have different images for students to choose from, and they are suggested images, so again, students will have to create these relevant details to go along with the images. And this is just a great way where if students get stuck writing, they can create a story. Or if they've never really enjoyed writing, this is a great way for them to create their own children's books. As you can see here, Storybird is now available on the App Store and the Google Play Store. They do have a free trial, so if a teacher is unsure about how this works or whether it would really work in their classroom, there is a free trial for you to test out some of the aspects of it. This is also great that it's on the App Store and Google Play Store because students can work on this at home. That is one of the major aspects of Storybird, is that students will become so engaged in writing their stories and just creatively expressing themselves that they will want to use this at home as well. Lastly, I wanted to show what the website looks like when you first log on. As you can see, this is the homepage, and they are showing some of the teachers who do the challenges. The challenges are not very long. It's just, say, if a student has trouble maybe writing poetry, there's a challenge where they write poetry, and it's kind of guided by one of these teachers. As you can see, there's a tab where it says read, and this is where you can read some work that teachers have published on this website of their students. And again, there's the write tab. And that is the tab that I would use the most because this is where all of the illustrations are. And as you can see here, for picture books, long form stories, comics, flash fiction, and poetry. And then back to the home page, there's an educators tab where educators can log in, and then the parents tab where parents can access the library that the teacher has created. And as I mentioned earlier, they can purchase some of the books. So overall, this is just a great website to inspire students to write. Sometimes it's hard to just walk in and you have a prompt and then write about it. This is really a great way for teachers to encourage students to write in a low pressure setting where they can just be creative in what interests them. There's so many images that students can really write about something that they are truly interested about. And teachers can really assess what students know through their writing because they're writing about something that they're passionate about. So as I said, this is a great website to really get students to write, and with detail, because the pictures are so detailed, the writing's going to have to reflect that. And there are so many resources besides just the pictures. As I mentioned before, there are the challenges that are vetted by many teachers, and they do align with the Common Core standards. They are standards aligned, not with the TEKS necessarily, but the teachers can adapt this to fit in with the TEKS. So as I said, check this out. It's a great website to get students engaged in their writing. And even if you don't end up using the website, maybe just the idea of using images to encourage students to write is great as well, as long as you can make sure that they are school appropriate images as are listed on this website.